We seem to have developed a little bit of a list. That's not good. That's not good at all. I'm going to attempt to even her out with some iron blocks along the keel. That hasn't worked.
Hello everyone. If you're watching this, you're probably trying to build a boat and create aeronautics. Or you're just really bored while you're sitting on the toilet. You probably don't even have Minecraft installed, do you? Anyway, if you've ever attempted to build a boat with Create, it probably didn't go that well the first time. Don't worry, it didn't go that well for me either.
Well,
But eventually, I figured it out. I think. Hopefully my ramblings today will help some of you get closer to figuring out for yourselves, or at least it'll entertain you during your break at work. Regardless, let's get started. So first, we gotta get it in the water. In order for the boat to be drivable and do boat things, it needs to be a physics object, as opposed to the regular static Minecraft blocks. This is done with the physics assembler. Now, this block has physics, and if we build off this block, it will continue to have physics. You can also use glue to connect blocks together, then the assembler will give physics to the whole assembly. Either method will work, although I definitely recommend if you're going to use glue, you use it out of the water. I found out that you can in fact glue water to your contraption if you're not careful. I personally prefer to apply physics to a single block, drag it off into the water, and then start building my ship from there. This way there's no messing with glue, and you can see how the ship behaves in the water from the get-go. So now that we've started construction, we can discuss what determines if it will float, or if it will no float. Disclaimer, I don't 100% know how the mod calculates this stuff. This is just my best guess from what I've observed. You can correct me in the comments. So in real life, things float by displacing more water than their total weight. Basically, if you weigh the amount of water the ship displaces, as long as it is more weight than the ship itself, the ship will float. Create Aeronautics doesn't do that, as far as I can tell. In fact, displacing the water doesn't seem to be a thing. As you can see, the waterline still exists inside the ship. I believe this is something the mod devs are working on, but for the moment, any compartment below the waterline will be flooded regardless of what you do. Also, flooded compartments can somehow trap and suffocate fish. I don't know how this happened. What Create actually seems to look at to determine if your boat will float is all in the blocks that you choose to use. Every block has a different amount of buoyancy. Things like wool and wood are very buoyant. Things like cobblestone and concrete are not very buoyant. No matter how much area we cover, it won't float. So your ship needs to have enough buoyancy, or in other words, enough buoyant blocks to match the total weight of your contraption, regardless of the shape of your hull. Buoyant blocks will only provide lift so long as they are in the water, so putting floaty blocks above the waterline won't help you. So because we need some floaty blocks and any space under the waterline isn't currently habitable anyway, I prefer to build my ships on top of a flat layer of buoyant blocks, usually wool, then extending the structure of the ship upward. This gives me a nice base to start from, plus I can see how the ship will balance as I add more weight. It's very important that you're able to dial in the balance of your ship, which is actually the next bullet point in the script. In addition to floating, it would be nice if our ship would stay upright. It's kinda hard to drive when it's upside down. If the ship gets too top heavy, it will start to list and eventually roll over, and this makes me very sad. This issue really only starts to show itself with larger ships, but it sure can be annoying when it does show up. Or, if you don't want to mess with adjusting the center of mass, you can do what I did and slap a gyroscope on it. Gyroscope is an object from the Create Aeroworks add-on, and as long as it has enough power, it'll do its best to keep your contraption upright. Long story short, balancing a ship is hard. Trying to dial in the center of gravity without adding so much weight that you end up sinking your ship to the bottom is easier said than done. Especially while you're actually building it and shifting blocks and where things actually go. Weight tends to move around a bit when you're doing it. Using a gyro makes it a lot more forgiving. I definitely recommend it. The ship will probably still need some tweaks to get it to float perfectly level. For example, my patrol ship that I've been building here was a little bow heavy and needed some extra flotation blocks. And with all that, I, and now hopefully you, have an upright and seaworthy vessel, ready to be outfitted with whatever systems, equipment, and propulsion your heart desires. Or you can just let it sit there, whatever you want. Hopefully, that helps you on your shipbuilding journey. If any master shipbuilders stumble upon this video, please share your wisdom in the comments. We must build more. Anyway, that's all from me. Have a good one.